All right, tonight what we're going to be talking about is how do you get from mass of one substance in a balanced chemical reaction to moles of another substance in that same chemical reaction. So first we're going to be looking at this stoich map and we're going to try to figure out our path that we should take in order to solve this. So what I like to do is I have my balanced equation and I try to read the problem and put down any information I know underneath or above the balanced chemical equation or the reactants or the products that we need to figure something out about. So how many grams of hydrogen gas? So I'm going to write down, hey, I need to know how many grams of hydrogen gas will be produced if 2.5 moles of calcium hydride, which is this guy, react with an excess amount of water. So in this case, I'm not going to need to worry about water. I'm not going to need to worry about calcium hydroxide. So what I'm doing is I'm going from moles of substance A and I need to get to grams of substance B because substance A is calcium hydride, substance B is something different, and that is hydrogen. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with the 2.5 moles of calcium hydride. Make sure you write down your units, okay, including what substance you are talking about. And the first bridge that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to go this route, and then I'm going to need to go this route. You cannot go straight 2 grams of a substance, of some other substance. You have to go through the balance reaction. So first step that I'm going to do is this balanced equation right here. So I'm going to put moles of CaH2 on the bottom, and I'm going to put the moles of what I'm going to on top. So that would be moles of H2 for this particular problem. Okay, where did I get those? Where do I get those numbers? I'm going to look for my coefficients and use my molar ratio to do that. So the molar ratio for this is 1 mole of CaH2 for every 2 moles of H2. Now I'm ready to go to my grams because I'm not done yet. I'm still at moles of chemical B and I need to get to grams of chemical B. So I'm going to put moles of H2 on the bottom and I can go to grams of H2 on the top. So what is the molar mass of H2? It's 2.0 grams for every 1 mole of H2. Now I'm going to multiply and divide like I've done this whole year, and I get my answer of 10 grams of H2. Looking at sig figs, there are 2 in the 2.5, so I need that decimal to make it actually have those 2 sig figs. The next problem is actually the opposite. It goes from grams of a substance to find moles of another substance. So how many moles of calcium hydroxide, so that's moles, will be produced if 28 grams of calcium hydride react with excess water? So I am going from this to this. Okay, so I'm starting with grams and I'm ending at moles of a different substance. So I need to take the path of grams to moles of my same substance. Then using my molar ratio for my balanced equation, I'm going to go to moles of my other substance. So we've got 28 grams of calcium hydride. I need to get first to moles of calcium hydride. How do I go from grams to moles? I'm going to use that molar mass, which for calcium hydride is 42.1 grams of calcium hydride for every 1 mole of calcium hydride. Now I'm ready to go and use this balanced equation conversion, which is using the molar ratio. So I'm going to put moles of calcium hydride on the bottom. I'm going to put moles of what I'm trying to get to, which is calcium hydroxide on top. Okay, now I'm going to look at my coefficients to fill in my numbers. So it's 1 mole of calcium hydroxide for every 1 mole of calcium hydride. This is where I wanted to end, which would be moles of calcium hydroxide. So I'm going to multiply and divide it out, and I get 0.665 moles of calcium hydroxide, which rounded to the 2 sig figs because of that 28 grams, 1, 2. So my final answer would be 0.67 moles of calcium hydroxide. All right, hopefully you understand how to start using this map. We're going to be doing more problems so that you really understand how to be able to convert from one substance to a different substance in a chemical equation.